Well, the first show I saw at the Unicorn that really made me think I need to be involved with this organization was, believe it or not, The Salvation of Iggy Scrooge. It was the very first show that I saw here when they did it in, I think it was '97, and it was my first Christmas away from my family. So it was a little bittersweet, but I decided that this show would probably be a good way to not miss my family so much and get an introduction to Kansas City theater. And it was quite a production. And after that, I just volunteered as an usher and served on the marketing committee and most recently on the board of directors. Wow, the first word that comes to mind when I think of the Unicorn Theater is probably provocative. We see shows here that we wouldn't see anywhere else in Kansas City, and they're shows really designed to make us think about current issues and events. And I like that it doesn't tell me what to think, it just gives me things to think about. And we come to our own conclusions, and I think I'm a smarter person because I see shows at the Unicorn.
Is it heavy? Tolerably.
I've been involved with the Unicorn for more than 10 years now, and I think what continues to impress me is the caliber of the staff, from the artistic director on down to the people who build the sets and run the boards. Everyone has a real strong passion for theater, and I just feel that the staff here really does magic with the funds that they have. I think everyone who is here are just excellent stewards of the monies that are raised, and I feel that my investment in the theater pays itself over 10 times.
Don't let people knock the hat. Don't let people hug too close. Those are the hat queen rules. Don't break them.
When you present yourself before God, there should be excellence in all things, including your appearance.
Hallelujah! We're marching to Zion. Beautiful, beautiful Zion. We're marching upwards to Zion, that beautiful city of God.
Cynthia Levin is the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of the Unicorn Theater. It's pretty difficult to pick out one, but I would say, what comes to mind, Lisbon Traviata was a wonderful show, and anything that Don Richards was in was always great. I think you were talking about the falsettos earlier. Angels in America. I think Angels in America probably hit me over the head harder than any of the other shows that I can remember. Human Remains, Unidentified Human Remains had a big impact on me too. Hot and Throbbin', Bugs, Frankie and Johnny and the Claire de Lune. I could go on and on and on. They were all great, great, great performances. Well, in 1981, when I first came on the stage here at the Unicorn, there weren't a lot of choices. You had the Unicorn, you had the Resident, the Bell Road Barn. Those were like the three community theaters where non-equity actors could get experience. Now there's 20. There's 20 theaters in Kansas City, equity and non-equity. And all of that has grown out of the fact that Cynthia built this place to stay, and all of us have had a chance to work here and expand our consciousnesses. And I think that's more than anything else, that's what's been important. And what Cynthia has done with the Unicorn is just raise our consciousness. Who could ask for more?
And
he reply?
Well, I tell you, it's a pretty humbling thing. I'm just this kid out of nowhere, and all of a sudden, bam, I'm on this team, you know. And it's a pretty funny team, you know. I mean, pretty funny bunch of guys. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't mind the colored people, the gooks and the spicks and the goons and like that. Every night, to have to take a shower with a faggot? I mean, do you know what I'm saying? Do you get me?
You'll show a nothing or two. Life is dirty and rowdy. Even dressed up it's dowdy. But now say howdy to a summa cum laude. You'll show him the way it's done, but no applause he's not through. I'm gonna fence Van Gogh and Henry Thoreau and Plato and Cato and Edgar Allan Poe and John Cocteau and Jacques Cousteau and Bellini, Houdini and Michelangelo and Jackie O and Marilyn Monroe and Botticelli, Machiavelli and Curly and Bow and what do you know once you learn to crawl? Yes, I'll grow to be 10 feet tall. Show them all a thing. Or two. You'll show a thing or two. Or two. You'll show a thing or two. Or two. You'll show a thing or two. Show a thing or two.
I would say the show Angels in America, because I had seen it in New York and then saw it here, and it was just such a profoundly moving show, and it was a great production here at the Unicorn. And in fact, I think because of the intimacy of the theater and the quality of the production here, I enjoyed it as much as I did the Broadway show.
Turn back, undo till he returns again.
Please, whatever you want. I don't understand this visitation. I don't understand what you want from me. I'm not a prophet. I'm a sick, lonely man. Stop moving, is that what you want? Answer me, you want me dead?
No more.
I want you to go away. I am so sick to death of being done to, walked out on, infected, fucked over, and now tortured by some mixed up, irresponsible angel. Leave me alone.
You can't outrun your occupation, Jonah. Hiding from me one place, you will find me in another. I stopped on the road, waiting for you. You know me, prophet. Your battered heart, bleeding life in the universe of wounds.
I think there wasn't one particular show, but it was the whole series of provocative shows put on during the 80s and the 90s with the AIDS crisis that was going on in America. With Tony Kirshner plays, Angels in America, all of those plays, the Unicorn took the lead in bringing those to Kansas City and bringing them to the audiences here. And for those of us who were involved in the HIV and AIDS battle early, it was very important, and it helped that effort. I think the Unicorn needs to stay true to its current mission, and because I think that fills a void in our community for cutting-edge plays that address the social issues of our time, as well as good theater. I know this fall we start off with the Tony-nominated production of shows. So I think the search to continue to bring great theater to Kansas City, great plays, but also plays that speak to the times we all live in. I think it's a fun place to come. It's Midtown, it's fun, it's Kansas City. It speaks to the neighborhood. It's a good neighbor, they're good citizens. They continue to help raise money for other causes, which not every theater in America does that, but they always stand up for the AIDS walk and raise money.
There's a lot of men that are into that kind of thing.
What, molesting 12-year-olds?
Yeah.
You mean pedophiles?
Yeah.
You think I should date pedophiles? I don't want to date pedophiles.
Why not?
Because they have sex with children.
I know, but if they were having sex with you, they wouldn't be having sex with children. It's like you'd be doing a public service.
How
husband and I talked about before the play, and then we talked about afterwards, and it was Unidentified Human Remains. And the reason I remember that is because my parents came to town. They live in Nebraska. And I called the theater and I said, is this going to be an okay play for them to come to because of language and some of the topics? And we decided to bring them, and it was one of the experiences that we talk about almost every time we see them. They loved that play.
Here on the set of Unidentified Human Remains are a couple of beds, and these beds get used in the play by actors who take their clothes off. There is also a great deal of violence. Now the question is, will people be offended by all of this?
I'm sure we'll offend people. I'm sure we've already offended people in the few that have seen the preview. And that's okay. I think that that's sort of what life is about. I think that our job, part of our job here, is to take people to the edge of their senses, their sensibilities. And some people get offended very easily. And that's not my problem.
I'm sorry, but the soft and romantic thing just doesn't work for me.
Not her problem, but when playwright Brad Frazier opened a different play in Cincinnati, the Vice Squad showed up, but the show was not shut down. Even though it's a difficult show for the audience, how can the actors handle it?
I mean, there are people taking their clothes off in front of each other, they're getting in bed together, they're slapping each other. I mean, there's that sort of violence and sex and that line that you try not to cross. So it is very difficult for them, but they trust each other as people.
The play runs through March 26th. Stan Carmack, News 5.
Unidentified Human Remains opens tonight at 8 o'clock.
And my favorite play, Love, Valor, and Compassion. I love that play. Just all the themes that were involved in that play. I loved the message. A lot of times the message of the unicorn is something that is a contemporary theme, and it's illuminated in the play. And so there's always something to talk about afterwards. When I think about the unicorn, what really comes to mind is the variety of plays, the fact that it doesn't matter where you're sitting in the theater, it's always up close and personal. Sometimes you leave laughing, sometimes you leave crying. Almost always leave talking about the play. And it's live theater at its best, I think.